Thicket, where there's an interesting light phenomenon that occurs. Here with my trusty driver James, and James, that sounded like a driver. And when we get there, we're going to kind of do a little survey of the area and see if there's material for some kind of future project. So, take care. We're out here now. Yeah, we might even come across Bigfoot out here, man.
Good reports.
Yeah? In this particular area, there's been reports of a Bigfoot type creature?
Pretty much the heart of the Big Thicket right here.
It's too bad they've done all this cutting. Looks like they've stripped out a lot of wood. I often wonder if strip cutting of the wood and removal of all the woods and stuff doesn't have an effect on, you know, the stuff that gets reported and cited out here. 'Cause I imagine when all this wood was still here, this was kind of a foreboding place driving through here. 8-mile drive. Would you miss it?
Yeah, this is a tourist attraction. They've got this nature trail. They explain a little bit about all the diversity of the vegetation and such as that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been defaced.
Yeah, isn't that great? Alright, let's see if we can read through the graffiti. Oh, here, this is the place. Ghost Road Scenic Drive. And isn't that special? You know, I always like places with names like Ghost Road, Spirit Lake. So this is the place. It's pretty remote out here too. Very remote area. Biggest problem out here is going to be security. Historical markers along the way. Yeah. Boy, this is a long straight road. Now, from what point did the light become visible, where you can start to see the light when it occurs?
All over. They both ways. See, they clear cut it just right there.
Yeah, you know, I can't help but think that has an effect on. Yeah, the trees end right like 20 feet maybe from the roadway on that side.
That's recent too.
Yeah, that's a shame.
There was a battle for years because they wanted to do that, and they would go to the county. Always having battles, wanting to sell the land and get it clear cut for the lumber. And
yeah.
They had a committee to try to stop them because this is considered like a tourist attraction for the area.
No, but there's an old rail bed supposedly associated with this, right?
Right.
Where's that located at?
This is it, right? I mean,
This is the rail bed.
They took the tracks up.
Oh, so the dirt road is the rail bed.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's starting to make a lot more sense. Alright, so, but there's no real geographical spot associated with the location of the light.
No.
It's just a visible phenomena from either end of the road, no matter which way you're going.
Right.
It happens between you and the end of the road.
8 miles.
That's kind of fascinating. That's a long damn way.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about it, though, you got a long, visible shot down this road. So,
A little elevation on it.
yeah, most of the photographs of the light have been facing this way that I've seen, the way we're going. I mean, they've been taken from this perspective. And what's interesting is to see what the topography at the end looks like. Because, you know, the big thing is, oh, it's headlights, you know, being reflected or something like that. And right now, I don't see how in the world that could be the cause.
Well, on the other end, there's a highway that comes straight to it, and right at the entrance of the road on the other end,
it curves off.
To the left, yeah.
Okay.
And
Well, that makes it a
people
possibility.
saying that was why they were seeing the light, and if the reports of it being red was because of the red tail lights, they were reflecting. People were seeing the tail lights of cars.
Yeah, but what was it reflecting off of? You know?
I don't know, but
See that?
there's other reports of it swaying back and forth. There's reports of it in the trees.
Yeah, the photograph I saw was kind of off to the right of the road and into the trees somewhat. It was just like you could see it shining through the foliage of the trees.
Right.
And I was thinking that certainly doesn't look like a reflection. It looks like a source. You know, some kind of almost, it didn't look like a spotlight, but it looked like a light source of some kind.
It's pretty hard to tell if the car's coming or not. It's kind of... These reports are basketball size, baseball size, bluish, I think red, there's white.
And like you say, you don't know when the latest sighting has been. It's been a long, kind of a while.
Sighting, no.
Yeah.
In the 70s, it really picked up. There was a lot of newspaper articles about it from the paper in Coops, Texas. Did a lot of articles, and there were people by the hundreds come out here. And, they said Pentecostal preachers would park their cars and stand on top of them and preach the end of the world was coming.
Never let an opportunity go to waste, right? Yeah, that's
People were shooting at the light. And
that's good.
For a while, it got dangerous to come out here.
Yeah, no kidding. Apparently, shooting at it didn't do much, right?
People say it chased their car, it stalled the engine out, and there's been some reports of it floating through the car, through the windshield.
No doubt there's a lot of folklore associated with it. And there's preciously little as far as evidence printed anywhere about it. I mean, I think I've seen like maybe one photograph that reoccurs in just about every article about it online. I'm not really sure who the author of that photograph was, but I have seen a different one. I've seen two, actually. I've seen one and then a second one. Now this branches off here. That's interesting, isn't it?
I don't know if that's a gated road down at the end or where it goes to.
You know what? I want to get a. Well, you did a Google, right? Google Earth.
Right.
Well, I'm not sure if that was related or not, but I put those batteries in before I left. I haven't used them a whole lot, and they were dead dog drained. Maybe the camera doing it. It's the first time I've really used this camera for an extended period of time, so I have no idea what the normal lifetime of the batteries would be in it. So I guess if these batteries drain pretty quick, and I can assume that it's an energy-hungry a camera, not something that's phenomenal. This is kind of a... This explains why the road is so straight, because it's the railroad bed. And that would be consistent with reports of similar lights that occur in other regions across the country. There seems to be this common denominator of rail bed, long straight shots, kind of remote-ish areas with a little normal human activity around it on a day-to-day basis associated with it, heavily wooded. Be interesting to note, though, if the strip cutting has affected the appearance of the phenomenon. You know, I'm almost firmly convinced that the way to do an investigation like this would be to mount equipment in a vehicle and be running equipment. Like if I was going to run any kind of detection equipment, I would get some kind of vehicle, van, flatbed surface that the equipment could be set up with and be mobile, and just slowly like troll up and down the road with it running, you know.
And see if you get anything.
See if you get any hits.
Yeah.
That would seem to be the best way of going about it.
Seems like there is a rise right there, and from now here straight, it looks like there's no. It's perfectly. That's as straight as you can get, right?
Yeah.
It looks like.
It does look like it rises there, doesn't it?
It might be an illusion, but.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I would want to use some kind of inclination meter or something to see just exactly how flat it is. But well, I could check it on Google Earth. Google Earth will give you elevations if you just pick a point. It will tell you what the height is and what the coordinates are. You ought to save the coordinates, navigation coordinates. That would be helpful too, if I had the coordinates.
There's 30 elevation.
Yeah, just follow. Yeah, leave this running for a minute. We're at 178 feet below sea level.
Something.
Not necessarily. If we're in a bowl, like a natural bowl,
Yeah, it looks like it's. No, it didn't.
We're actually going deeper. It's funny. I can't videotape that because of the refresh rate of the screen. Like when I put this in front of it.
Oh yeah, it's just rolling.
Just rolling. Hey, maybe we could market that as a ghost communication device. Stare into the rolling bars and look for your dead uncle, your dead aunt. Man, I bet this is a creepy place at night.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Bad bug problem out here too. Oh yeah.
Times of the year.
I bet. Well, this is marsh area, so the fact that it's below sea level makes a lot of sense.
I don't think it's right. I think it would be, if anything, it would be positive.
I don't know. That can easily enough be verified.
That was one of the explanations they tried to say it was swamp gas. A professor from Lamar back in the 60s come out here and he declared it was swamp gas.
Well, that was a standard explanation for everything back in the 60s.
Yeah. And they
No one was ever able to reproduce it with swamp gas,
No.
however. That's the thing.
In some of the reports it said it was moving or it got chased, and I don't think swamp gas was. I think it was a static light in a certain spot, possibly.
See, if it's a static light, then I would be looking for some type of reflection or reflectability, something that would maintain the static part of it. But if it's moving and there is established, reliable witnesses of movement, then that changes the whole thing. It can't be really reflection. It would have to be something, much more dynamic in origin, something like maybe some type of plasma, the ball lightning kind of idea, or cold plasma or something like that.
National Geographic did the article on it, and it had a picture. And I think during the 80s, the guy from Japan came here and he did a TV special.
And of course, nobody that's ever come out here with the intent of capturing it has ever really captured it,
Here's one of the best accounts from a book. By Rob Briggs. In his book about the Big Thicket called On the Trail of the Wild Man. The boys arrived about midnight and drove directly up about 5 miles the Ghost Road, straight 8-mile length. They stopped the car, turned off its lights, and left the engine running. Just as they were trying to decide whether to sit and wait or to turn back, they were greeted by an eerie, diffuse orange glow. It issued from the pitch black woods to their right. Jim described it as being like what would precede a lantern entering a dark ring. The glow emitted from a 6-inch ball of brilliant orangish light that came to hover less than 20 feet in front of them. Their astonishment turned to terror as the light approached with movements that seemed conscious and deliberate. It stopped just to the right of the car that was still idling. Slowly, it moved across the hood, causing the engine to stall. Frantically, the boys were all able to restart the engine as the light came to rest to the left of the car. Hard to read that.
That's tiny writing.
Yeah. That's really terrible.
Yeah, mine are too. I couldn't even read it. Even with my glasses. I'd have to get my magnifying glass out to read that. Yeah, I'm firmly convinced that the way to do this would be to set up a vehicle with the sensors and roll slow and stop occasionally.
It's been reported single light of color bluish to white, size from basketball to beach ball size, very well defined, location in the middle of the road, in the trees, movement slowly moving toward you, then disappearing as it gets close, swaying from left to right, always staying 30 to 40 feet away, coming right up to the vehicle, entering the vehicle, and shooting straight up in the sky, disappearing in front of you and reappearing behind you. And electromagnetic interference has been reported with the light.
Good clue there.
Also affecting radios, and some say the light even burnt the paint on the hood of the car.
Yeah, that would, the whole thing with the, if that can be substantiated, the EMF and the interference and that sort of thing, that's kind of a vital clue there as well. That could very well be some type of plasma with an EMF encasing, stabilizing, shell around it. But everything you just read is like verbatim out of every other light legend reported across America. I mean, my experience with the light on the old Jackson Road in Suffolk, Virginia, the same symptoms. Went through the windshield, right through the car of a couple who were, driving through out there. Freaked them out. Most of the time, it was swinging back and forth, going along the old rail bed that crossed the old Jackson Road. Just incredible stuff. I mean, it's like, whatever this stuff is, if it is real, seems to be that it's all related to the same type of phenomena. And so far, the common denominators and the ones I've been associated with have been abandoned rail bed, wooded area, long straight runs. I mean, all the similar type of effects that we're looking at here. Generally fairly remote areas, meaning, no housing or no human occupancy immediately in the area. And associated with kind of marshy or at least low-lying land. I mean, there's water standing over here to the right. You got water and I
They
imagine
put the tracks up, I think, in 1935. They raised the tracks.
See, but I can't help but think that there might be rock from the ballast still underneath this roadbed somewhere.
Put dirt on top of it.
I'm sure that's what they did. They just piled it in over a period of time and built it up. I mean, because this is like really fine dirt. It's almost like sand.
As far as the reports, some say the reports started before the tracks were here. Some say they only started when the tracks were here.
It's hard to substantiate any of that. Yeah. But there's no story associated with its creation, what made it happen.
The oldest story goes back to like it's like Will o' the Wisp stories and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or it's what do they call it when it's something protecting a buried treasure.
Yeah.
And then you hear the stories of after the train, the railway was laid. Brakeman looking for his head.
Yeah, that's
with his lantern.
Yeah, that's common. That was the legend associated with the one I dealt with.
That's such a common.
It's interesting. That was private property over there to the left, and there seemed to be some type of camper trailer.
Camper trailer there, like a deer camp.
Was that like a hunting camp?
Yeah, hunting camp.
So, mental note: only off hunting season should this be attempted.
I think you would have to get permission to block off the road on each end, or at least have people located each end with walkie-talkies telling you how many cars passed and if it's
right.
But I think it would be best if you could.
Well, I wonder how often the road is traveled. I mean,
at night there's
everybody out here.
Yeah, I would say there's people out here every night. On the weekend, quite a few. On a weeknight, not as many, but I've seen people out here at at 3 in the morning on Thursday night. There'll be a car accident.
Wow.
So trying to get it.
Well, we'd have to worry. It's part of the state park.
I think it's just a county road. I don't think it might be a county park if it's anything.
Yeah.
It's a county road.
You'd have to get permission from the county, like the sheriff's department.
If you wanted to completely shut it down, there's a farm on the right here somewhere. I don't know if that's their only access to their land that they need to get to their house or not.
Well, I don't see that it would necessarily have to be shut down if someone lived here and had to get into their house, but
Yeah.
I'd kind of want to limit through traffic.
Yeah.
But I would be interested in running cars and stuff and video and, you know, what effect headlights and stuff did have, you know, to set up stuff to see if you could recreate the effect, you know.
You can do some pretty good recreations. We used to do them in high school.
Oh, out here?
Oh, yeah. This was, you know, this is out in the middle of nowhere, so kids at night on the weekend, what is there else to do? And what else is there to do? Go get a six-pack and go ride up the Ghost Road.
Yeah, really. Other than cow tipping or,
yeah,
you know?
that's a popular thing to do.
I imagine it is.
And we would, I think a buddy used to have a Volkswagen Beetle, and we'd sit on the hood and get something to hold in front of the headlight.
Stop a second. Stop and back up a second. I saw something just out of curiosity. I want to look at it closer. A little bit more. Something on a tree back here. Keep going. A little bit more. I saw what looked like, yeah, right there. What's that?
It could be a boundary marker for timber company's land.
You know the angle that's at, and that looks reflective. All right. I just wanted to, I saw that going by and I saw it shiny. And, you know, we're talking about potential reflecting.
Does it look like a car's up there to you? And then sometimes it does, and then sometimes it doesn't. You can see forever.
I know. It's hard. It certainly looks like there's something up there, but I don't know if that's a mirage or what. I mean, somewhere.
Look, it's getting darker on the left. See how it's getting darker on the left?
Yeah.
Or is that just your eyes playing tricks?
No, it's definitely getting darker on the left. I mean, it's not the eyes playing tricks because the video is showing that, unless the video is playing tricks in my eyes as well.
It might be just the shadows.
It could be. It could be a trick of the sunlight. That part of it. See, the picture that I saw, the light was kind of to the right. You know, it's kind of like up.
And now it's getting more defined on the left side there. It looks like something dark standing straight up.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Shapes.
Yeah. That might be just... there is something dark on the left down there. Big time. Almost looks like maybe we will see Bigfoot down here. That is pretty neat looking from here. I'm wondering just if that's some kind of mirage or what that is, or maybe it's a color variation of the vegetation. But that's definitely. See, it almost looks like an arch right now. The darkness kind of goes up and over and comes back down, almost like a tunnel entrance or something. But I'm not sure if that's not an optical illusion.
I think you can see so far.
Yeah, it creates all kinds of little effects and stuff.
And you can imagine at night with a light.
Plus, you know, you got these side roads and stuff.
That's usually blocked off and locked.
Yeah. I mean, but there's definitely... I swear that looks like a guy on the left down there.
I know it does.
Like a big old black shadow man.
About to walk across.
Yeah, with the arms out on either side. That's pretty fascinating. But again, I think it's an optical illusion. It's probably some kind of vegetation that's kind of goes out there, and we're seeing a trick of shadowing. But we're getting closer to it, and it's not going away. So I don't know. I'm getting the feeling that it's like a wormhole almost. You know?
Now
it looks completely different now.
Yeah, it looks like it could be just leaves now.
It's just vegetation.
Yeah.
But there's definitely... That's pretty wild. So there's an example of how something very natural can create a perception or something that looks totally like bizarre, you know, to the casual observation. But it's definitely vegetation. I can see now that it's like a bush. And it's definitely a darker, you know, color of green than the other area. In fact, the whole vegetation on either side is dark, as well as the depth of it. The upper areas is dark, so it creates this kind of really like depth of field. But it gives me the impression that it's almost like multi-dimensional, you know, like in scope when you look at it.
From way back there, it looked solid.
Looked wild, man. Mm-hmm. Looked like a big old ape on the side of the road getting ready to jump across.
I'm sure this much dust that we're throwing too could cause some stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like a solid dust cloud behind us.
Oh yeah, I know it. Now see the whole impression that we saw earlier is gone.
This right here.
Yeah.
Dark. It looks like these are
this coupled with
a holly tree. It's an evergreen.
Yeah. That coupled with this overhanging thing here, that little branch going across, created the cave-like entrance effect. And then here's our guy standing on the side of the road right here, this clump of greenery standing there. There it is. So there's a prime example of how perception of a natural environment is completely and totally altered by the perspective of looking at it under the lighting conditions and stuff. This is a long, straight road. But, yeah, the way to do this would be with a special vehicle with some cameras, and I'd want both forward and rearward looking cameras and maybe even thermal imaging camera pointing straight ahead.
That would illuminate a lot.
Be running some type of sensory array where you could be monitoring a lot of different things, including I'd be even monitoring radiation and things of that nature. But definitely an interesting place. Yeah, this is pretty good. Now, I've been running this video for a while with the new batteries on it, and it hasn't used hardly any battery juice. Something drained those batteries back there where we were at.
The farm right there, somebody does live there. And you got somebody living out here too.
Yeah, this is real close.
Yeah, these didn't used to be here. This is fairly new since I've been coming out here.
Yeah.
Nobody lived out here.
Well, this looks like a camp.
Yeah. There was actually people back there.
Yeah.
That's a deer camp. It's called Bragg Camp.
Yeah. That's like a little civilization. a little town in the middle of it all. Man. Well, I bet when it rains, this is a miserable road to be going down. Yeah, so the only way to to do this, man, would be on a rolling vehicle setup, special vehicle.
I just don't know when the last reliable sighting was.
Yeah.
It could not even be not happen for 10 years, and then it's hard to say.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the problem with all of these things. You know, there's so much folklore surrounding them that, you know, you don't know really what's true and what isn't anymore, because people will just jump on it and say, hey, yeah, I was out there the other night, I saw it. You know?
Yeah. If you're not sure whether it's headlight or not, then it's probably not the light. I mean, I haven't heard a report of somebody saying it's, you know, they definitely know that it wasn't a car light, like it got huge or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a report like that.
No, I mean, that account, from when was that account from that you were reading?
Probably like the 70s or maybe
Yeah.
the 60s.
That was about, amazingly, that was about the same time that the phenomena that I was involved in was peaking as well. It's like in the 60s.
I think it was.
So that makes me think, I wonder if all this stuff was like associated with a common point in history, you know? Like maybe it was really active in the 50s and 60s for some reason, and then suddenly, for whatever reason, it stopped being active.
And then how much did the clear cutting of the timber affect it?
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question. It was the same thing that I was saying. It's like, I know when they paved the road where I was familiar with, the old Jackson Road, once they paved that road, that was the end of it. And now there's even street lights and stuff out there. So, I mean, I've driven down it several times since, but there's been no report of any activity there in years. Like I say, after they paved that road, any reported activity ended. So, paving the road essentially sealed whatever was on the road that could have been contributing to it. And if it was something geological, you know, that was involved with the road that could be contributing to it, it was effectively neutralized when they paved the road. It's kind of fascinating, though, to wonder about what could be going on. See, there's only a few things, though, that really could be causing it. I mean, you know, obviously phosphorescence of some kind or some type of chemical reaction. But, you know, I've seen will-o'-the-wisp before. That's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life. It just looks like little glowing balls, like, floating around. Like,
really?
It'd be like, you know, blowing bubbles with a bubble wand or something, but they're little glowing bubbles floating around. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. But that supposedly has to do with phosphorescent gas that's reacting, not necessarily burning, but like giving off light glowing. But I couldn't tell you that that's what was causing it.
Yeah, there is a lot of oil wells out here.
Yeah, I would think that because there's probably methane, there's probably natural gas, pockets of natural gas. Certainly there's a lot of methane associated around here, which is what swamp gas is supposedly made up of, is methane gas. But still, it would, if it was swamp gas, it would have to be ignited. It would have to be on fire. And gas on fire would not only burn itself, it would burn any kind of foliage or fuel type material would also ignite, and you would have a ton of fires out here all the time. Ghost road ecology. Nah, I haven't seen enough ecology other than, you know, Big Thicket here.
I tried to get this guy, his name Rob Riggs. He used to write for the paper in Houston, and while this was going on, he wrote a lot of articles on it. And he wrote the book about the Big Thicket, and included some of these stories in his book. But I never could locate the guy. I was going to meet him for the last convention.
Yeah, now see, that would be something to be kind of neat to have come and speak.
Some locals.
Yeah, have some local.
Because as far as this area goes, this is the haunted location in this area, in Beaumont area.
Yeah, this is the big.
Yeah, this is
the big hoorah.
Haunted location.
This is the big hoorah.
And I was going to get him to come speak about it, but I could never find him. I found an address in Austin, but it was an old email.
You ever look at his book site in Amazon and see if he had an author page?
I did. I looked up that, and I went off of that email, and it was no good.
Huh. Well, I tell you something else I'm noticing too is that there's pockets of very dense spider webbing at various heights. I don't know if that may be reacting to light, particularly if there was dew droplets or something into it to create some type of reflective process. Could almost create a prismatic effect. There's sure a lot of potential explanations for it.
It says, Professor, let's see, Rob Riggs consulted and participated in the study of the Marfa and Bragg lights by Professor Yoshihiko Suki, a professor of physics at Washita University of Tokyo. Professor Suki was at the time the chairman of the International Committee for Ball, Lightning, and Fireball Research, and was actively involved in studying locations worldwide where lights such as this occur. Suki's study was documented on a Japanese television show called The Chase, which was a Japanese version of America's show The Unsolved Mysteries. Dr. Suki and his team spent several weeks at Marfa studying the lights, but was able to only spend a few days at this location. Dr. Suki favors the theory that the lights result from electrical charging and resultant ionizing of the aerosol content, microscopic levels of dust, pollen, and moisture of the atmosphere.
Well, that's nice, but what caused the electric activity?
Most researchers agree that the phenomena is the result of some manifestation of a discharge phenomena resulting from an unusually highly localized recurrent intensification of the Earth's geomagnetic
field, which is a measurable property. And that could be, instead of a guess or an explanation of an unexplored area, readings would verify if that's a potential cause. Well, that's just what I suspected, though, anyway. I suspected it could be some kind of piezoelectric effect. But the trick is, that's all well and good, but what ignites it? What initiates it? And why doesn't it happen in the daytime? Because if it was that kind of effect, it would happen if the conditions were right, regardless of day or night. So we would potentially see a glowing ball if that was the cause of it, or the fireball or whatever. It wouldn't matter if it was day or night. Now, somebody would say, well, yeah, but it would be too faint to see in the daytime. Yeah, well, yeah, but you would still encounter the phenomena, and you could still see it. You wouldn't be able to see it for as long a range as you would at night, obviously. But the way the shade and the shadows are in here, if something was to be manufactured like that, we would certainly see it.
I think
But there don't seem to be any reports of this phenomena where it's visible in the daytime. It's all after dark at night. Hey, we got another tunnel effect up there, right?
Yeah.
Looks like we're heading towards a big tunnel.
I think that might be the end of the road here, and that's the highway. I'm not sure. It looks like it's pretty close.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, I bet strip cutting all that lumber's had a hard effect on the hunting out here. Yeah, it's interesting.
I see like 3 different vegetation regions and birds in the Big Thicket area.
Yeah. Well, it's
real,
definitely
real diverse.
Yeah, it's definitely low-lying land. But you know what? I think we're rising right now. I think we're going uphill. If we're not going uphill, we certainly are seeing an illusion of going uphill. And it's a pretty fascinating place. I've been trying to look like up at higher levels to see what possibly could create reflections.
I've noticed out here at night sometimes if on a real starlit night, the stars will twinkle through the tree, the trees.
Yeah.
It kind of sometimes it'll catch your eye, but I don't think that's what it's hard to do.
Yeah. No, I mean I would think from the size descriptions of what's encountered out here, and shit, the photograph that I saw, that was no star. I mean that was pretty good size. Maybe baseball size, the one I saw in the photograph. But I think you've got the same photograph on your article.
That's the one they took from the National Geographic article. It was on the cover of the National Geographic.
Yeah. No one. Who was the photographer?
I'm not sure, but if you look at the original.
Was it a staff photographer or was it just a submitted photo?
It was a staff. The guy said it was like a little after dark when he set up the shot, and if you look in the upper part of the picture through the opening in the trees, you can see a star trail, like it was a time exposure.
Yeah.
And you can see a star trail, and
so he really does it. Was he there for the whole time?
In the article, he describes how he took the picture and the conditions and everything. I think I've got it on there.
So that would mean that light that he photographed was very stationary.
Mm-hmm. And it could have been quite a bit dimmer than it looks in the.
Yeah, no kidding, because a time-lapse exposure would really amplify any low level of light that was in there. Which brings me to another point. This may be a really nice use of a thermal imaging camera to scan this area. That would be an appropriate use of one, because that would pick up any dim heat-generating light source.
Yep.
Well, this has been a very informative little jaunt. There's definitely issues with doing something out here, though. It would have to be. You would have to have a mobile lab of some kind rolling back and forth.
This highway, you see the highway how it comes right toward us right here?
Yeah.
Cars, because any car on that road right there, you're going to see a headlight before they make that turn.
Yeah.
Let's see what he says about that picture. I don't know if he put it on there or not.
I just don't see how a headlight here
No.
could be seen back there. I mean, even a headlight shining, by the time the headlight got even to here, for example, it'd be pretty diffused. And most headlights, anyway, are aimed down at the road, not, even high beams will only go like a few hundred feet.
What really is cool, you get the cars with the HID headlights out here. And
Yeah.
You got all the colors and all the different tints of those. Those really look spooky.
Yeah, I bet coming down this road at night and seeing a motorcycle headlight would be kind of
We used to come out here before with my daughter. They used to like some friends out here, so I take them out here sometime. And they'll want to walk. We'll stop, take a walk, try to scare yourself. And
Yeah, I see what you mean. It goes right straight into the road, the highway here.
We haven't seen a car pass,
And here is like,
they messed up that one too.
yeah, it's nuts. Oh, the car behind us.
Was it?
Yeah.
This one just came.
Yeah, right there.
They're moving too.
Huh. All right, well, that's the 8-mile drive of Ghost Road.